I finally got it, guys. The infamous DJI Mic Mini. And I didn't just get the single transmitter set. I went for the whole package with a charging case. In this video, we aren't just doing a basic unboxing. We're going deep into the setup, everything you need to know. More importantly, those hidden recording modes I mentioned in the thumbnail that you might not even realize exist. Trust me, you definitely don't want to miss that part. If you're new here, my name is Sir Z. I'm back to making YouTube videos from a long break. I'm excited, so let's get started. Just so you know guys, what you're hearing right now and all throughout this video to keep the consistency is actually the audio of my Sony CVE10's built-in mic. It's not yet the Mic Mini. I fixed it up and enhanced it using AI just to make it sound this decent. If you want to know how to fix your raw audio with just a few clicks, or want to learn which free AI tool I'm using for my sound, just drop a comment below. Now let's see what's in the box. We have this nice soft carrying pouch with most of the stuff. Very nice material. I love it. And these manuals, which we'll just put aside for now, let's be honest, we're probably not gonna read them anyway, so... Anyway, now from the pouch, we have this poor dead cat. Wait, not that cat, definitely. I swear no animals were harmed in the making of this video, guys. Anyways, I'm talking about these wind muffs. These are what keep your audio clean when you're filming outdoors. Having 4 of this is a huge plus because they are so easy to lose in the field. We also have the TRS and the charging cables, the DJI sticker, and the star of the show, the charging case containing the essentials. Inside the charging case, we got the receiver, a Type-C adapter for your phone, and yes, of course, the 2 tiny square-shaped transmitters. These are the mics you'll actually be using. They only weigh 10 grams each, which is basically nothing, and they come with magnets for attaching them directly to your shirt. Over here, you'll notice an empty slot meant for a lightning adapter, but since that's sold separately, I don't have it in this set. Unfortunately, it turns out I actually need the adapter for my old iPhone 8 Plus. I need to update the Mic Mini using the DJI Mimu app, which is the only way to really fine-tune this mic and get it to its full potential. We'll talk about that more in a bit. One thing I love about this case is the total space-saving design. You can fit almost the entire setup in here, including the transmitters with their wind muffs still attached. Even the TRS camera cable has its own dedicated spot inside the lid. That is such a time saver when you're moving between locations. Just to note guys, the charging cable isn't actually meant to fit in the case alongside the TRS cable. Besides, it's a standard USB-C cable. Even if I did misplace it, I can just use the same charging cable I use for my Sony camera or my DJI gimbal. To me, the TRS cable is the one that's harder to replace on the fly, so it's only right that it stays in the case with the essentials. Compare that to other setups where you're carrying multiple pouches for different parts. This DJI case keeps everything locked down. Seriously, this thing gets up to 11.5 hours of battery in a single charge. When you factor in the case, you're looking at 48 hours total. Even the latest, much more expensive Mic 3 only gives you about 8 to 10 hours, with a total backup time that doesn't even come close, just around 28. This is where you see who this mic is truly meant for. The bloggers who stay on the move. You get that signature DJI sound, but with a kind of battery life that doesn't quit. Even though the Mic Mini has been out for a while, if you're filming on the go like I am, the extra juice is a massive win. Since this is a charging case, you can just pop the transmitters and the receiver back in, and they'll start charging automatically. The case has 4 blinking LED lights on the front for monitoring the charging progress, and they turn off on their own once the case is fully loaded. Connecting this to your gear is super easy. For my body here, the Sony CVE10, the receiver clips right into the hot shoe mount. Then you just connect the two together by plugging one end of the TRS port into the slot here on the receiver and the other end into the camera's mic port. And just like that, you're all set. For phone creators with Type-C ports, it's just as simple. Slide the Type-C adapter into the receiver and plug the whole unit straight into your phone. Keep in mind though, that adapter is built tough, so you'll need to give it a firm steady push to slide it off when you're packing up. One thing many phone creators have noticed is that the receivers stick out quite a bit when it's attached. Honestly, I think it would be much better if DJI had designed this to line up or sit flat against the phone. Because it sticks out so much, it feels a little exposed, like you might accidentally bump it against something while filming. If it sat flush, the whole setup would feel a lot more secure and way less bulky. Something else that's a total game changer is how this mic pairs with DJI Osmo products via Bluetooth. If you're rocking the Action 4, 5 Pro, or the Pocket 3, it's completely seamless. Not only this mic connects to them automatically, you can actually use the mic as a remote to start and stop recording. Remember, that remote function is strictly for Osmo cameras. If you're on a standard DSLR or mirrorless like my Sony ZV-E10, you'll still need to record manually on the camera. And for the desk grind, if your laptop has a USB-C port, just plug the receiver in and you've got a pro quality cordless mic for your online calls. How nifty is that? When it comes to actually wearing this mic, you've got a few solid options. You have the standard clip for the lapel of your shirt, or if you're wearing a t-shirt, you can just clip it onto the neck like this. Some creators even attach their wireless mic to the visor of their cap for a different look. Avoid clipping this directly to your collar. Since the collar moves while we talk, that constant shifting creates a ton of rubbing noise that can ruin your audio. It's much better to clip it just a bit lower where the fabric is more stable. My favorite way to wear it is with the magnetic attachment. You can snap it anywhere on your outfit for a super clean professional look. See? I'm actually tugging on the transmitter right now and it's holding on real tight. This magnet is incredibly strong, so you don't have to worry about it falling off. The only small downside is that the mic looks a bit chunky on your shirt when you use the magnet. Since the magnet sticks to the clip, and the clip isn't removable. Think about the HoloLens Lark M2. The magnet snaps directly to the mic, keeping it super thin. But with the Mini, the clip is permanent. You have to attach the magnet onto the clip, which actually adds more bulk. Just to be fair, if you want the thinnest look possible, the Lark might actually have the edge here. Now, give me a second to shout out the seller who gave me the kind of service I've never seen in all my years of buying gear. If you're just here for the specs, you can skip straight to these timestamps. I don't want to bore you, but if you're interested, here's the wild story. Honestly, I was forced into this upgrade. After years of grinding, my old Boya shotgun mic finally died. It just gave out. I had a trip the very next day, so I was in a race against time. I figured if I'm buying a replacement, I'm going for a legend. And since everyone's talking about the DJI Mic Mini, I went hunting. I spent the whole day driving across Pampanga, from SM Clark to San Fernando. Every store had the bigger Mic 2 and 3, but the Minis nowhere. Online shops were too slow, and I was losing hope. Until this seller from Bulacan messaged me past 10 p.m. And here's the crazy part, guys. He offered to drive it straight to me that very same night. I thought it was a scam at first, but at 12:20 in the morning, he actually arrived with the package. It was a total late night rescue mission. Huge respect to this guy. He's a young pro and a legit DJI retailer. I'm truly vouching for him. His link is in the description if you want to check him out. Full disclaimer, this is not sponsored. I paid for this with my own money. But when a seller goes the extra mile like that for just one buyer, the community needs to know. Anyway, back to the mic. This mic is absolutely tiny. I love the small form factor of the Mini. It's so much less distracting than the bigger models. Such a low profile, you barely even notice it's clipped onto your shirt, letting your viewers focus on your beautiful face and your message. It has an omnidirectional pattern, meaning it picks up sound equally from all directions. On each transmitters, you'll find two buttons and two LED lights. First is the powered button. Hold it down to turn the device on or off. If you hold it up and the logo is facing you, the LED in the upper left corner is the power indicator. When it's solid green, you're connected. Also, clicking that button once enables noise cancellation, indicated by the yellow LED in the upper right. Then there's the link button for pairing, most of the time with the receiver and when updating with the DJI Mimo app on your phone. We'll talk about using that app in just a moment. If you ever lose connection with the receiver, just hold the link buttons on both units for 3 to 5 seconds. The green lights on both devices will start blinking while searching, then turn solid green once reconnected. On the receiver unit, you'll find the same power and link buttons here. But here's a secret. The link button also serves as a toggle to cycle between 3 different recording modes. Don't worry, we'll get to them real soon. You've got green LEDs for transmitters 1 and 2. If they're solid green, you're good to go. I already pointed out the TRS slot on this end to connect with your camera, while this knob on the side is the physical gain dial. It goes from negative 6 dB or decibels all the way up to plus 12 dB. If you're new to these dB numbers or decibels, think of this as your mic sensitivity level. 0 dB is your neutral point. So don't get confused. When we're talking about audio, 0 is not really 0. In most cases, you're good with that one. Negative 6 dB is quieter, best for loud environments like while in a noisy marketplace or at a concert where you want to prevent your audio from clipping or getting distorted. Plus 6 or plus 12 dB are for when you're a soft speaker or in a very quiet room and you want to boost the volume of your voice without having to actually speak louder. Just keep in mind though that raising the gain also increases sensitivity to the background humming or buzzing. I find it that keeping it around 0 or plus 3 dB is the sweet spot for a clean, clear voice while keeping unwanted noise to a minimum. Guys, if you're getting some value from this video so far, a thumbs up would be huge for the channel. And if this is exactly the kind of content you've been looking for, consider subscribing so you don't miss the related videos I'll be dropping in the coming weeks. I do post school related stuff because I'm a grade school teacher by profession, but my passion is video production. So at the end of the day, we're on the same boat. Alright, let's get into the real reason why you're here. If you don't know this yet, the DJI Mic Mini actually has 3 different recording modes you can set on the receiver unit depending on what you're filming. Again, you do this on the receiver, not the transmitter. And we go about it with the link button on the receiver.
Jump cut to a quick update, guys. After I made this video, I found a couple of questions online from other users, so I did some digging and hopefully this update helps. Right out of the box, you can toggle the receiver between modes by double-clicking the link button. At default, you have mono already set. This is perfect for a one mic setup like vlogging, tutorials, or talking heads. Just remember to adjust your gain level accordingly because in this mode, what you record is what you get. Everything is baked into one single track. In mono, the LED in front of the receiver is solid green. If you're using two mics, double-click that link button to switch to stereo mode. Again, the link button on your receiver, not on your transmitter. And you'll see the LED turn to cyan or bright blue. This is your go-to mode for interviews where you need to pick up two audio sources separately. Mic 1 on the left channel and mic 2 on the right, giving you the flexibility to adjust them individually in post. Now, here's the third mode, mono safety track. There's no physical button for this. You have to enable it in the DJI Mimo app. Once it's toggled on, your default mono mode is upgraded to record a second backup at a lower level, usually negative 6 dB. This is your safety net when your main audio clips or distorts due to sudden loud noise. Now listen, guys. I mentioned a common confusion as to why even if you use stereo or safety track, you'll only find a single audio file when importing. The reason is because the recording is wrapped in a stereo container that holds the two separate audio signals. And here's the kicker. To actually use them, you have to split that file into two independent mono tracks in your editor. Think of it this way. Your left channel is your main audio and the right channel is your backup or your second mic. I'm going to show you how to split these tracks in Premiere Pro, which is my main editor. But for DaVinci and Audacity users, I don't use those programs, but I'll put a quick workflow chart later on the screen so you can see the steps. I've also included a link in the description if you want to download a quick reference guide so you can keep those steps handy. We might do a deeper tutorial on those later, but for now, this will get you exactly where you need to be. Now, just a quick disclaimer before we start. I'm using a sample tape of just me talking, recorded in stereo, and because of that, the two tracks are going to look very similar in this demo. But if you recorded two different people with two separate mics, you'll see two totally distinct waveforms. Either way, the steps to split them are exactly the same. In Premiere Pro, notice that when I drag this clip into the timeline, it only shows one audio track. To fix that, right-click the clip on your project panel. Go to Modify, then Audio Channels. Change the preset to mono and set the number of clips to 2. Under the source channels, just map the right channel as your second clip and hit OK. Now, when you drag it back into the timeline, you've got two independent tracks ready for a professional mix. Once they're split, you have full control. If your main track peaks, just cut to that safety track, boost it up, and you've literally saved your video. Now, here's the cheat sheet on how to do this in DaVinci and Audacity. Like I said, I got this in the description below, available for download. Hopefully that clears up the confusion. Now you know exactly how to split those tracks and get to work on your edit. Back to the original shit.
Those are the 3 secret modes that makes this mic so unique. Drop a comment below and let me know. Are you Team Stereo, Team Safety, or Team Mono? I took this DJI Mic Mini out to the yard to see if it actually holds up. No studio edits, no controlled environment, just the wind and a lot of distance. To give you the most honest comparison, I've recorded each scenario in 3 ways. Using the raw ZV-E10 audio for comparison, with the Mic Mini on the camera with noise cancellation off, and with noise cancellation active. Our gain level set to 0 dB. It's best to put on some headphones so you can hear exactly how it handles the noise.
Testing. This is the raw audio straight from the Sony ZV-E10 internal microphone. No external mic attached. This is the baseline so you can hear the ambient wind and noise around me in the yard. Testing. Now we've switched to the DJI Mic Mini with noise cancellation turned off. You should notice a big jump in clarity and body compared to the camera's internal mic while still hearing the environment. Testing. This is the DJI Mic Mini but now with the noise cancellation turned on. Listen to how it handles the background noise while trying to keep my voice front and center.
Now let's talk range. Officially, DJI claims this Mic Mini can handle up to 400 meters using 2.4 GHz digital transmission. So for the safety of my gear, I set up my camera right in the yard and just use the space available. I'm walking from my car back towards the front gate and the distance is about 11 meters. In this test, the noise cancellation is turned off.
Testing. We're now going to do the range test for the DJI Mic Mini. We're not using its noise cancellation, so definitely you are hearing all the noises around me. And I'm only about an arm's reach away from the lens. I'm actually touching it right now. I'm backing off. This is, I think, is 1.5 meters. And now I am 2 meters away. This one, I believe, is 3 meters away. This is 4 meters away. Now I think I'm about 5 meters away from the camera, 6 meters away at this point, and maybe this is about 6-7 meters away. And moving now to 8, 9, and here at the gate we are basically, I think,
10 to 11 meters away, perhaps probably 10 meters away. So what can you say? Is the camera still picking up the sound of my voice?
As you can hear, even with me moving around and being outside, the signal stayed consistent. For me, that stability is exactly what you need when you're filming alone. But let's be real for a second. When are we ever actually standing that far from the camera? Aren't we usually just at arm's reach away from the lens? Maybe 1 to 3 meters away at most. At those distances, this mic isn't even breaking a sweat. It's more than enough for what we do. The true pro adjustments are handled through the DJI Mini app, but they're only available if the receiver is physically connected to your phone. Since I don't have that lightning adapter yet, I'm limited to basic Bluetooth settings. To connect via Bluetooth, hold the link button until it flashes blue, then find the DJI Mic Mini in your phone's menu. With the Bluetooth connection, you're limited to these 3 main settings. This handles your power management automatically so you never forget to turn the mic off. This lets you decide if the button triggers noise cancellation or a remote recording. And this gives you the choice to dim or kill the lights so the mic doesn't distract your viewers. If you find the glowing lights of the mic is kinda distracting on the camera, you can use that last option to completely black it out for a cleaner look. Without a physical connection to the phone, these are all we've got. But that's okay because right out of the box, the default settings and physical mode selections are more than enough for my purpose. For the real pro setup, like I said, we need that physical connection to unlock the ability to fine-tune the noise cancellation strength. If you have a newer phone with a Type-C port, you're in luck because that adapter is already in the box. Once you plug it in, you can manually adjust everything. I feel bad that all I've got is an old iPhone, but my workaround for now is to simply lower the gain level on the receiver. By turning the sensitivity down, the mic won't be as aggressive in picking up background noise. Hopefully, I can get my hands on a Type-C phone soon to show you the full potential of the DJI Mic Mini. Once I do, I'll make a separate tutorial for that. As of this recording, the latest DJI Mic 3 is now everywhere. Almost identical to this Mini in terms of size and design, plus an added 32-bit float feature. But it was selling for up to 19,000 pesos, that's $340 US. For most of us, that's just way too expensive. While this Mic Mini, I snagged this for only 5,900 pesos or only $100 US. A massive price gap for a brand that is already considered premium. But you already know the biggest surprise is the battery. The Mic Mini gives you an outrageous 48 hours with a charging case. You can practically go out, film an entire weekend, and never worry about it dying on you. It's the ultimate bang for the buck for vloggers who want premium DJI quality without breaking the bank. But what do you think? Is that 48 hours battery enough to make you choose the Mini over the other newer releases? So hopefully this gives you a better idea of what the Mini can really do. If you have questions about this mic or how to get a better audio on a budget, drop them in the comments. I'd love to help you out. This is Sir Z. Keep rating, and I'll see you in the next one.